Now let's work on oscillator 2. Set it to a sine wave and crank up the level to 100. Set the coarse knob to 26 and the fine knob just below 0. That might sound a little bit funky to you right now, but don't worry, it'll all come together. Oscillator 2 has a few new parameters. The first is sync. When this is activated, oscillator 2 is slaved to oscillator 1. That means that every time oscillator 1 completes a cycle, oscillator 2 is forced to restart. It's great for creating lead parts. In our case, let's leave it off. The next new feature is this frequency mod option. Frequency modulation, or FM, means that the frequency of one oscillator, called the carrier, is modulated by the frequency of another oscillator, called the modulator. In Prologue, oscillator 1 is the modulator and the other oscillators are carriers. To turn this on, just click here. Hear the difference? You can adjust the amount of frequency modulation that's applied using the ratio knob. Let's turn this off. Finally, we have oscillator 3. We're going to do something a little different with this oscillator. Start off by setting it to sine wave and turn the level up to about 70 or so. Set the coarse knob to 21. Now turn off tracking. Now you're probably thinking, what the heck is this guy doing? This sounds so weird. Don't worry, it'll all make sense by the time we're done. Let's move on to the controls in this gray area. First, we have drive. This allows us to set the level going into the filter in the middle here. Let's turn this right down. Next, we have emphasis, which is the resonance control for the filter. It emphasizes the frequencies around the cutoff point, which I'll get into in a second. It sounds pretty cool, but I'd like to leave it off for this example. Right smack dab in the middle, we have the filter. All these buttons around the filter cutoff knob let us choose the types of filters we want to use. There are high-pass filters, band-pass filters, and low-pass filters. Let's select the 24 dB low-pass filter and set the cutoff to around 10,000. Each of these filters has 2 or more subfilters, and we can change the cutoff for them using this shift knob. Let's put it around 11. We can use the tracking control to determine how the filter will follow the notes that we play. If it's set to values past 12 o'clock, then the filter cutoff will increase the higher we play up the keyboard. Setting it below 12 o'clock will have the reverse effect. Let's put it to 6, so that as we play higher up, the sound will get a bit darker. We can use the ring modulation knob to add signals from oscillator 1 and 2 together to produce a bell-like sound. I love the texture it adds to the sound, but I'm going to keep it off. We can add noise using the noise knob. It's great for simulating wind, breath, or wind instruments. Let's leave this off as well and move on to the last Prologue chapter.